Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make a customer order. So she requested a short square nail set. So she wants this design, but in a shorter length, and I am going to make this for her. So I'm starting off with my medium length square nail tips. I definitely need to pick up some good square nail tips because I've tried the ones from Apres and they just, to me, are so oddly shaped and like, I don't know, like when you make them as press-ons, they don't look super cute. So I like to just cut my own out of a medium square. And the square nail tips I use are from enailcouture. Those are usually the only nail tips I use, or Apres. So it's either one of those two. But Apres, I've only like very specific shapes. Like some of them are just too sculpted, even though they say that they're not sculpted, they're the natural ones. But yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. So prior to me cutting the shape of the nail, like cutting the number down, I did already go in and buff the nails. So they are buffed already. These nails are going to be very, very short, so I do not need to add a base coat layer. It'll make them a little bit too thick and chunky looking. So because they're so short, I know I'm going to add so many layers of gel on top of these nails, so it doesn't need the base coat layer. As long as the nails are nicely buffed and not overly buffed to where it's like smooth, you will have a nice grip for your gel polish to stick to. And the gel polish that I'm going to be starting with is Cocoa Kiss from my website, Nail Slayed by Val. I do have a discount code that you guys can use, and it is Nail Slayer in all caps. You guys can use that discount code and you will save 10% off of your entire order. So if you guys want to save some money on my site, you can feel free to use that discount code. And I'm just applying one nice even layer. I love the consistency of these polishes. I made sure that they were easy to work with. I literally tested them for months before I even came out with them on my website. So yes, they are very beautiful in consistency. They are not super sheer, and they are not super runny or anything like that. I like that they're like a medium consistency, and they're not super thick like a rubber base gel or anything like that, because I hate when the consistency is too hard to work with. So all of my gel polishes are also HEMA free and TPO free. They do contain TPOL, which is a TPO alternative, but TPOL is not banned in other countries like TPO is. So if you guys didn't know, that's what my product contains, is TPOL. So it's an alternative. Just in case you guys have allergies or sensitivities to some of the products in gel polish. I know that I really was like super adamant on having a HEMA free formula because I noticed that I started getting really bad eczema when I was using other types of brands of gel polish for years and years, and I noticed that I was getting like effects because of it. And it could have been, yeah, I don't use gloves, so it could have been that, but it's not. It was definitely like the formula of those gel polishes, because now even when I don't use gloves, I don't get any bad effects. I don't get really bad eczema anymore and stuff, and I think it was because of that. So I'm not really sure, honestly, being exposed to so many chemicals on a daily basis, who knows what it could be. But I knew that for my own gel polish line that I wanted to create, it had to be HEMA free. So that is definitely something that I did. And yeah, so I'm applying one layer of this. This color is so beautiful. I feel like it's so underrated. It is a beautiful like mauve toned nude, and it is just stunning. I love it, and it is really close to the inspo photo nude color that was used. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna do to kind of like make it a little bit of a different color. So I'm adding on top of this one thin coat of blushed clay. You can barely even see the difference, but honestly to me it does make a difference. So I'm adding one layer of blushed clay, also from my website, right on top of this, and this is going to give the exact nude color that I needed for this nail set. So I always try to replicate the nail photo that the customer shows me exactly to the best of my ability. Like I try to make it the best that I can, and if I have to layer colors or mix things together to get the color I need, I will do whatever it takes, because I want my customers or even clients to be satisfied with what they receive. So I always try my best to get it exactly like what they ask for. That's why I love the inspo photos. It really helps me get an idea of exactly what they want, because it's really difficult if you have a customer that just tells you like, okay, I want this and this, and like writing, and if they're kind of picky on the pickier side, that could be that could have bad consequences later, or it could lead badly or end badly. I did have that happen before with one of my customers from like a long time ago, like years ago, probably more than 3 years ago now, where she just kind of like worded out what she said, and then when she got it, she didn't want it, she didn't like it. So that was kind of hard, you know, because I try to do my best, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So if you guys are starting a press on nail business, or if you already have one and you don't like really specify exactly you know, I always recommend that. It's just something that I definitely recommend, and it's something that I do with all of my customers. Even for freestyle nail sets, I will, if they message me personally for a freestyle, I will make sure to ask them things that they do and don't like, and the very specific shades of colors that they like and don't like, because you know, sometimes people just don't like the color yellow or the color red, you know, it just depends. So it's always like really good to ask what they like. And yeah, I was just talking just because I was just painting that. So now I'm going to be doing a French tip nail. So in the photo, the thumb wasn't showing, so I decided to match the pinky and the thumb. If you struggle with this, like if you have a customer that sends you an inspo photo and they don't really specify what they want on the thumb, and if they are like this customer has ordered from me before, so I feel like she would be okay with anything, but I do just usually do whatever's on the pinky, like I'll match it, so that way it has like a matching like aspect to the rest of the nails. That's only if the thumb is not showing though, so it just depends honestly like what I end up going with. But for most nail sets, when the thumb isn't showing, I just match it to the pinky. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm kind of like foggy brained, but I'm using my 12mm French Slayer liner brush for this. It was literally created to slay a French, literally. So this brush hopefully will be restocking soon. I'm not sure when, so stay tuned for the updates on that, but it is sold out at the moment. And I'm just using the liner brush tip to fill in the French tips. The reason why I do this is because I feel like it gives me a little bit of a cleaner look and less like streakiness. Whereas if I use like the brush that's on the bottle, I feel like it could be streaky because the bottle holds so much polish. You know, like the brush on the bottle holds a lot of polish, and when you're doing it with the thin liner brush, it's just super quick and easy to fill in because the nails are short, and it just works because it's so like seamless. I don't know how to explain it, but if I'm doing like an extra long set of nails, of course I'll use like the brush that's in the bottle to fill it in because it's just way quicker, it's way easier. But you know, sometimes I also use the brush just because I want more of a seamless look with no harsh lines or anything, so that's what I usually go for. And I do have some videos on how to perfect a French tip. I think I created one. I'll put it in the description for you guys just in case you are having trouble with your French tip nails. I actually, for the longest time, if you guys are like go back to some of my older videos, just in case you're new, I haven't always freehanded my French tips. I used to do so many different methods. Like I used to do the method where you draw the line out and then connect it and then everything like that. And then I also did the method where I used to go in and clean up the French smile line with a little bit of acetone and a little brush, and that used to help me a lot. But after a while, I started practicing with freehanding the French tip smile line, and over time you just get better and better and better over doing it so many different times. And if you do clients, like customers in person, like if you do gel X or acrylic nails and you still struggle with French tip, my biggest advice to you would be to get some full cover nail tips and just practice and practice and practice on a nail stand. Even if you do not do press on nails, this will help you get so much better. But make sure that you practice with the tip of the nail facing down, like if you were doing an actual client or a real customer in person, because that is the best way that you're going to get better at it, and it's just going to give you that like extra push that you need to you know, really perfect that. So because I know French tips can be so difficult, and that's how I got better, is just honestly doing them over and over and over and over. But the first times I did it, I remember it was so difficult for me to do. So now for the middle finger design, it is a really pretty swirl design if you saw the inspo photo in the beginning, and it is just like, I don't know, like really different types of lines, kind of like, I don't know if this is like an abstract type of design. I have done something like this before, something really similar, and this thin liner brush really helps me just get the thin lines that I'm looking for. So I don't really know how to explain what I'm doing, but whenever you're doing thin lines like this, I would recommend using a really pigmented white gel polish. And you can definitely tell that the white gel polish I used is super pigmented. It is called Bunny White, also from my website. It is one of the most amazing white gel polishes I've ever used, and I genuinely just am so happy that I was able to create products that I genuinely love and use every single day. So it is just so pigmented, and it makes it so easy to draw these white lines. If you were using a more runny formula, or a formula that isn't as pigmented and really smooth and creamy like this one, you'll definitely have a little bit more trouble getting the thin line look that you're going for if you're doing any type of look that has really like intricate line work. So using a high quality pigmented formula is definitely the key, and not all pigmented formulas are made the same. I'm gonna be the first to tell you guys right now, after months of testing formulas and polishes, there was a lot that I came across that were just you know, wrinkling in the lamp, and they just were not good quality. So it's just like definitely something to look out for. If you have a polish that's wrinkling a lot, in the lamp and stuff, it could be that actual polish. So maybe try out a different brand, or sometimes it could also be like the lamp that you're using. If it's not a high wattage or if it's older, sometimes the bulbs can be dead as well. I know last time, like when I first had my first nail lamp, I didn't even notice that the bulbs on the inside were dead until one day I looked in there, like while the nail was curing, and there was some like dead bulbs in there, and I didn't even know the whole time because the light looks the same when you're like sitting next to it, but unless you're looking in there, you won't even know that some of your bulbs are dead. So that's when I ended up getting a new nail lamp. But yeah, so that's something to look out for as well. And now I'm doing the next design. I didn't have a blooming gel on hand. I thought I had one, but I think I threw it away, or I don't know, it got lost. So I'm just using a Beetle's base coat gel right on top of this nude color to create the blooming effect. So I'm just doing the white lines right on top of the blooming gel while the blooming gel is still wet. So the blooming gel is not cured, just in case you're a beginner or you're watching this type of design for the first time. The blooming gel or the base coat gel has to be wet in order for the design to bloom out. But I did notice that base coat gel blooms way faster than actual blooming gel. I don't know if it just depends on the blooming gel formula. It probably does, but I just used this and it bloomed so fast. I was like, whoa, I looked away for 1 second and it was already bloomed out. So yeah, and I also like to go back in and perfect any mistakes. So I noticed here that this white French tip on the pinky was not fully painted on the side, so I went in and fixed that really quick and put that back into the lamp to cure. And you'll notice that throughout the video I am alternating between the nail set or the hand, so I'm alternating between the left and right hand. That's why you'll notice that I'm doing the designs twice. Sometimes I leave both hands in the video and sometimes I don't. It just honestly depends, like on my mood or if I feel like the video is going to be too long or something. But because this design is fairly simple, I felt like I could leave both hands in here because it won't be too long of a video. So if you notice me for whatever reason like pausing throughout the video, I try to cut out any long pauses, but if you see me do little pauses like just stop my brush like mid line, it's because I'm watching a show. So I'm watching The Walking Dead and it's one of my favorite shows ever. I already watched it I think 1 or 2 times, but it's just so good. So sometimes I'll just stop mid like set and just start watching it. So if you see that, I'm sorry, but yeah, I tried cutting out most of it. And I also was gonna say something else, but I lost my train of thought. And then something else I wanted to mention that was off topic actually, and I just remembered what it was, is I get a lot of questions about my nail stand and like the putty I use. And I think it's because when you're a beginner, this is like the stuff that nobody really talks about. This is like the thing that I feel like a lot of people expect you to kind of know, but it's actually so like, I don't know. So basically years ago when I started doing press on nails, I used to use the putty that was like blue. I don't even know if it still exists or if people still use it, but there's like a blue type of putty that you can get like on Amazon, and I used to use that, and it was just so annoying to use. It would get really stuck to the back of the nail, but it at the same time wasn't sticky enough to where the nail would stay. I would notice that while I was filing the nails at the end of the nail set, the nail would pop off and like be falling all over, and then the blue would get stuck to the back of the nail, and sometimes you can see through the nail, the blue underneath, so you would have to clean it with like a little bit of acetone, or at least that's what I had to do basically. So I use the putty called from the brand Gorilla Glue. I think that's the brand, the Gorilla Glue brand of putty, and it's like an orange packaging, and it is in my Amazon storefront. So all of the products that I use that aren't from my website or that are some of my favorites from Amazon, they're always going to be in my Amazon storefront. So if you guys have questions on like what I use to package or what I use for my application kits that I send off to my customers, or the nail stands that I use or anything like that, it's always going to be in my Amazon storefront. So if you guys ever have questions about that, or if you're curious as to what I use to film or anything, it's always there. And I do try to update it every few months. I just updated it recently and added some more of my new favorites and things like that. So if you guys are wondering like the new things that I'm using, it's always there. And yeah, sometimes I won't mention it because I honestly forget that I have an Amazon storefront. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but yeah, so everything is there. And now since I'm done with all of the other nails, I'm going to be top coating with my No Wipe Glossy top coat. This is also from my website. It is also HEMA free, and it is really incredible. So anytime I get little lints or little pieces of hair in there, like, you know, little lint will come off your clothing. It's literally inevitable. Like, it'll come on your nails like at random moments, and you'll notice it. So it'll just fly on there. I always make sure to get them off as long as I can see them and notice them. So I wipe it off with the lint-free nail wipe, and the lint-free nail wipes that I use are from Shein. You can also get them on Amazon. So I get them on Shein because they're cheaper, same thing, but the lint-free wipes come in like a big pack for less than $5, I think. And you want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, no matter what type of nails you do, you want to use lint-free wipes. Don't ever use like paper towels or some other type of like thing to clean your nail with. It has to be a lint-free wipe. That's the only way that you're not going to get pieces of little hair and lint stuck on the nail, and you're going to be able to see it through your top coat, and then your top coat is going to look all lumpy and stuff. And also, if you do like clients and things, this is something that you might overlook when you're a beginner, or even if you do press-ons. You don't want to leave any type of dust on the nails. You want to make sure that you have a very clean and smooth surface with no dust, no lint, to start painting your nails, because that is definitely something that I overlooked as a beginner and never realized how important it was, because it doesn't leave you with a smooth, really even application when you go in to top coat the nail. So right here, I'm just doing the sweater design that was in the original inspo photo. So I just did the sweater design with my white gel polish right on top of the white nail. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I forgot this nail was all white, so I actually switched it out. But now I'm doing the design, and then while the design is wet, I'm going to just dump the acrylic powder right on top. So I just cured the white base underneath and then did the design with the gel polish, left it wet, and then I am putting a clear acrylic powder, and then I'm going to put it in the lamp. And that is pretty much it for this, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.